from our teacher and our brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Is that all right? Yes, so we want you to open your heart and receive him. And we want you to go home and think about what we can do to be a part of this mission, to be a part of this process, and really thank Allah for giving us a servant and a divine Messiah today in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a man that's giving life to the dead through this mission. So at this time, let us bring to the rostrum Student Minister Joseph Muhammad with a round of applause. Assalamu alaikum.
Family, let's give him some more of that. Another round of applause. Student in the ministry, Brother David Hassan. Thank our brother for what he shared just now. As always, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, we give praise and thanks to Allah for his coming and appearing to us in the personage of Master W. Farad Muhammad, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We thank him for leaving his seat in paradise to come, seek, and save that which it was and is still lost. And that is the black man and woman in the hells of North America and all over the earth. And we will add to that all of fallen humanity. We thank him for coming to a place called Black Bottom, Detroit in the early 1930s. Though he had been in and out of America for 20 years, he made himself known July 1930 to let it show the full scope of why he was here, and it was to get you and me. But in a meeting just like this one, a man showed up, a Georgia-born black man, a giant, not known to the world yet, but because of the ability of himself, having enough of the original materials in him to absorb what God had in him, like a magnet, or should I say a radiated cell, he sucked all that God had within himself and put it into him. This one man, this one little man from Georgia. And our history tells us, well, I'll get back to that. But this man, he was so powerful, so brilliant, and he did such a wonderful work that even today we are still benefiting from it. So we thank Allah, we say in the Nation of Islam, for his wise choice in giving to us a man born Elijah Poole, but because of the wonderful and magnificent work that he was and is doing to and for us today, he became known as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah for that wonderful, wonderful human being. However, you'll hear me say a lot of times up here, and it's in the scriptures, confession is good for the soul. I gotta confess, I did not meet Master Farad Muhammad. I did not meet the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, but the man who is the shining example, the man I hope to grow into be one day, is the man that walks among us today. We say he is the most famous Muslim on the planet, and we can prove it at no limit of time. We say he is the boldest, baddest, most courageous black man that has ever lived, with the exception of his teacher, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and God in person, Master Farad Muhammad. But he is both of them. As a matter of fact, we are so confident in who he is and what he is, we can say that he represents every scholar in the Bible and the Quran. Again, all you have to do is look at his works. They say you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. Is that right? Let's look at the tree in this man that I'm talking about right now. He is our illustrious leader, teacher, guide, friend, confidant, our champion, and really the champion for all of humanity. He is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All praise is due to Allah, dear family. We thank Allah for that beautiful, beautiful black man and for his really immeasurable sacrifice. Because were it not for he, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Were it not for he, I mean, I can speak for myself. I'm gonna leave you out of the equation. Because again, it's about what happened to me. And we go to, Brother David just alluded to, self-improvement. I didn't know nothing about no self-improvement. I thought I was all right. Until I had a clean glass put up, and I saw that I was the dirty glass, and I was like, no, I want to be like that. So I slid over and I got with the clean glass. And that's where I have been since then, because I want to continue to self-improve. Because again, I want to grow into what he is. People will say, y'all worship Farrakhan. No, we don't worship him. We just follow his example. And if you follow it, you could be like that too. Y'all all right, family?
Yes, sir.
So again, as our brother said to us, thank you all for being here today. You could have been anywhere, but you came to hear the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad as represented by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I don't want to be remiss in my duty. Again, I would like to thank, because again, this house, it's not my house. So I stay here, but it is not mine. It's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's house. And we don't want to do or say the wrong thing while we're on this rostrum. So we thank him for allowing us the opportunity to come up to his rostrum and really just bear witness. Because he spoke millions of words. All we can do is just repeat what he has said. So we're bearing witness. And on the other side of that, I'd like to thank his regional minister, student minister, Rodney Muhammad, again, for the opportunity and having the confidence that in his absence, as he travels through the region, that he would put one of us up here. Because, again, if something goes wrong up here, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan or his national assistant, student minister Ishmael, is not going to call Brother Joseph. He's going to call Brother Rodney. It could be 3 in the morning. I'm not going to get that call, but Brother Rodney will get it. And I don't want him to have to get that call because Brother Joseph want to try to walk the chalk and make sure that it's done right while it's on my post, while I'm assuming the duties of our student regional minister, Rodney Muhammad. Y'all all right, family?
Yes, sir.
All right, I mean, we ain't gonna be long, but we gonna be strong. And I don't wanna cheat you because I want you to beat what's out there in the streets. Right. So we got a little something on the plate today, but it comes directly, again, as I said, I'm bearing witness, it comes from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I'm coming out of this book right here called Torchlight, A Torchlight for America. Well, why does America need a torchlight? The minister said, well, I mean, if you, we're a place where there's ignorance, murder, mayhem, just everything is backward. It's the opposite of what God is. There's no good in here. You can't trust anybody. I mean, that's just where we are. So that's like being in darkness. And you don't need just any kind of light. You need a torchlight. Have you ever noticed how long torches burn? They don't just go out. Batteries run out, but torches seem to burn forever. Well, this truth that he is representing to us is like a torchlight. It illuminates darkness wherever ignorance is. It illuminates and allows us to see more clearly what the real truth is. Y'all all right? Yes, praise be to Allah. I just want to start off, let me start off with the scripture. Never go wrong with that, right? I'm going to go to Surah 96. And, well, let me tell you what the theme is first. It's dealing with Torchlight for America. And it's talking about, bear with me. We're dealing with Torchlight for America, ending the healthcare crisis. Now, this is a very broad subject matter because it covers just about everything imaginable when it comes to health care and taking care of our bodies. Listen to this. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan, he's telling us, he says, pardon me, right there, 40. All right, here we go. It's interesting that when you go out and buy something for your hair, a new cassette player, well, that's old, we could say CD or MP3 today, a cake mix in a box, or on the jar, there are directions for proper use. When you buy clothing, you will find on the tag somewhere directions for how to clean it properly to avoid ruining the garment if you value what you have purchased. You study the directions and you follow them to the best of your ability. Isn't it sad that with life, we don't follow the directions for how to use it, take care of it, and help ourselves to evolve in a proper manner? Now, that's a question submitted to us, but think about that. We don't follow the instructions that's given to us. We didn't have it at one time. It wasn't available. But when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met Master Farad Muhammad, he gave us the keys to our health. And Master Farad Muhammad relayed these words to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, Kareem, which is what he called him back in the 30s, he said, tell the followers, the key to their health starts in their kitchen. Is what they eat, how it's prepared, check this, when they eat it. At one time, it was like whenever I feel hungry, I'm eating. And, you know, everybody eat now. I mean, they got something called comfort food. You know how it is. You know, maybe you're a little stressed out. It got on my nerve today. Where my Lay's at? Did I hit somebody? Don't worry about it. I'm guilty too. You pick up the potato chips. You know, you pick up the Tostitos and the dip. I mean, you go to work on it, right? Comfort food. But if you're not eating it at the proper time, it tastes good, but it's not working good for what this wonderful and magnificent house that Allah has gave to us. Y'all all right? Yes, walk on with me. It said, those directions for life are in the scriptures brought by the prophets, but they are buried under the teachings that make us uncomfortable in getting ready to live the life and the problems in life that we are confronting right now. I often notice how people go into houses of God with such reverence. Think that over. Then he goes on to say, I have visited Mecca several times, and I have visited Al-Haram, which is the sacred house of all Muslims, and I watched the way each Muslim approached that house, as I did, with great reverence. I mean, respect, you know. Then he goes on to say, of course, the house is the house made of stone. I have visited St. Peter's Basilica, and I watched the reverence with which the Catholics and visitors approach that magnificent structure. I've watched the dedication of religious houses, and I see how spiritually minded people act in a religious house. They are quiet in their decorum, and they will not utter certain words. Think that over. They try to be very respectful around the altar. But all of these buildings are the work of the hands of men, while the human body is the handiwork of God himself. Y'all all right with that? Yes. Let's go on. It says, it bothers me that we would show more respect for a house of stone built by men and designed by men in their vanity, and yet be so disrespectful of the true house of God designed by the supreme architect of all creation. Stop right there just for a moment. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to go to this right here. What do I do with that? Now, here we go. So walk with me, family. I want to say this. The reason I'm leading up to this. Last week, I wasn't here. You know, I'm usually here on Sundays. I mean, I try to make all the meetings, but I'm usually always here on Sundays. I wasn't here last week because I went to attend the funeral of a family member. Well, actually, it's my wife's aunt, and, you know, she's the last of 10 children. Well, she's next to the last. My wife's mother is the last one, you know, so, you know, it was really heavy. So I went, and we got there. But the point I want to make is she was 106. You know, people were glorifying in that. All praises due to Allah. We were glorifying in that. And that's a big number to reach nowadays. However, as I talked to her, the last time I talked to her was last year. We went to North Carolina, and we visited her. And, you know, she lives in Ohio, but she had a little farmhouse down there in North Carolina. We were talking, and her mind was as sharp as a blue steel straight razor, as a scalpel, a surgeon's scalpel, sharp. But her body, this house, was falling apart. And honestly, you know, when we went to see her, you know, they had her all dressed up in there. But the focal point I want to make is, you know, the minister says, you know, in the church, we were in the church, they told us when we died, you know, we're going to go to a place called heaven. Right? Yes, you know, all of us going to get up on Judgment Day, and we're going to walk and stand up in line, and that's going to be a long line. And we're going to wait, and we're going to get to see where we're going to spend the rest of our lives. Are we going to heaven? Or are we going to purgatory? We going to hell? So the Honorable Louis Farrakhan taught us, he said, you know, if everybody, that we've been in this universe for 76 trillion years, and this earth has been here, and if everybody who has died and going back into the earth all of a sudden got up and came back, there'd be nothing to stand on. No, we got to approach it. We got to open this up. This is the truth. But I want to get to this house. You know, when our bodies, the pastor did a wonderful eulogy. Oh, it was beautiful. Up until a certain point. He threw gasoline on it, and then he threw fire on it and burned the whole thing up. I mean, I'm not mocking, it's real talk. I said, this man been listening to the minister. He said, our sister, she's in that coffin. He said, and she's going down in the ground. He said, I ain't never been in the ground. I don't know nothing about that, but I know what I got here, so I got to respect my life. Beautiful. I'm walking with him. Go ahead, bro. You own it. And mind you, it was a long service. It ain't like a janaza. You know, we used to that short thing. We go in and we get out. Whoosh! Testimony after testimony, and people adding stuff. They weren't even supposed to say nothing. They talking. It just went on and on and on. I'm not making, no, please, family, I'm not belittling it. I'm just pointing out what we have and how beautiful it is. Well, anyway, he said, after he said that, I can't go there, and I got life. I got to respect this because I don't know nothing about that. Then he goes, as he closes out his words of inspiration to the family, he's talking about, he did an analogy, if a worm got into that coffin and ate on our sister and crawled out, and then a sparrow ate that worm, and then a hawk ate that sparrow, and then an eagle, ate that hawk, it's gone. That body ain't getting up. But on Judgment Day, that eagle gonna give up that hawk, and that hawk gonna give up that sparrow, and that sparrow gonna give up that worm and give that part that it took back to that body, and she gonna get up out of there and come. And I'm like, stop. Will you please stop? But anyway, I couldn't do that. It wasn't my turn to talk, so I remained respectful. I was like, golly. So anyway, I'm thinking, doctors, go, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, doctors will come out to the houses of worship. But doctors don't believe in heaven and hell because they understand the building blocks of life. You know what I mean? He said when the doctor shows up at the houses of worship, he's coming in there to make a deal with the preacher so he can get some of the parishioners to come out and be his clients. It's about money. Y'all all right? Now I'm going to prove this. I ain't just saying it happenstance. Listen to this. Did you know that once we die, this is from a scientific perspective, once we die, 1 hour after our heart stops, there's a process called autolysis. Now, I don't know if there's any doctors in the house, but autolysis in Greek, it means self-digestion. Now, this process starts to take place where all the enzymes in the organs that have water and heavy enzymes, the cells start to rupture and start to feed on themselves. Now, you can always tell that autolysis is taking place because the person appears, bloated, they'll bloat, and then the skin changes color. It ain't getting up because the body is eating itself up. Right. So this thing about getting up out the grave and coming back, and listen, you don't never have to worry about waking up because after autolysis kick in, that's it. The body has already destroyed everything, so there's nothing that's going to function in the body. Then it goes on to say, autolysis is a breakdown of the cells, I kind of went to it, and the tissues by their own internal enzymes, also known as self-digestion. This process typically occurs after cell or the organism death and in certain pathological condition. As a result, in the degradation of cellular material, factors like temperature can influence the rate of autolysis, with the warmer conditions accelerating the process. Again, organs that are high in enzymes like with water, the brain, the liver, pancreas, and the gastrointestinal tract. That's major stuff in your body. You're not getting up. So all them horror movies we used to watch, Dracula been asleep for 500 years, and he get up and he just starts sucking on people. Ain't happening. You don't have to be scared, because he ain't getting up. We won't get up. Y'all all right, family? Yes, sir. All right, I'm just making it clear. This is what we've had to face when we were in the church. And unfortunately, in 2025, that same lie is being told to our people. So when you lie to people, truthfully, you're setting up for your own death. Because one day, you know who's not listening to that? Young people. That's right. Young people don't listen to that because they are so caught up with what they call on being woke. I ask young people all the time, how you doing, brother? How you doing, sister? Chilling. I'm chilling. Y'all heard that, right? Yes, sir. Chilling just means that I'm carefree. I don't care. Whatever. Whatever goes, goes.